I'm doing a pan because you're in a top location, but also I'm trying to embarrass Michael, who doesn't want to be on camera. He's right there, the beautiful Michael.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, here you are, like a lot of solicitors, you decided, do you know what, I want to make pizzas. I'm trying to think how that went down with your wife, with your psyche, how you said, okay, this is something I really want to try.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it was more Paul, kind of motivated out of my family business was a law firm in County Monaghan, and I felt that, listen, it just wasn't for me. I kind of ended up going into it, and I always had a passion for food, always had a passion for pizza, and I think once I mentioned it to my family and kind of explained the concept, they were very supportive. Obviously shocked,
yes,
that I put all the study and work into qualifying as a solicitor, and next thing I'm going in a completely different direction.
But you did say to them that there would be free pizza involved, so that's
I did,
swung us.
yeah. No, they like to try and avail of that. All right. Luckily, a lot of the relations live too far away to come up and get their free pizzas. But they've been very supportive.
I'm thinking that was 2008. You were very cleverly, you're hitting the big recession, and then you survived right through the COVID lockdowns. Not only survived, but you're up to 9 branches, and the finest one, by the way, is Greystones. Just in case you weren't sure, because I know you love them all, but
it definitely
Greystones is the finest.
Yeah.
But would you have guessed back in 2008 that this is how successful this is going to be? Because you've got to be ambitious, but I don't think you could have imagined 9.
We were definitely ambitious. I think what I would say is, I'd planned the business, maybe 2 years before the recession, the let's call it the crash.
Yeah.
And I think in 2008 it was really about survival. We opened in November 2008, not long after the dreaded bank guarantee. So it was more so, we need to try and survive this. I suppose I always felt, we had a very good product, we had a good brand, we had great people. So ultimately I knew I would get there, but at the time, I probably, if you'd asked me the question, I think it probably would be a very different answer.
So that idea too, that you planned this for 2 years, one thing that seemed to be always, anytime I've spoken to you, what's been very important is the fact that you're using only the 4 basic ingredients, no artificial ingredients, no processed foods, you're making the dough in-house. I'm guessing that was one of the big kind of, decisions you had to make. What type of pizza are we going to make? And you went for the basically the best quality you could.
Yeah, definitely. I think, listen, really what base it was kind of founded on the back of, I lived in London, I qualified as a solicitor over there. We used to, myself and my wife came across wood-fired pizza. We moved back to Dublin and saw that really things hadn't evolved. It was, there was obviously great pizza places, but just I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to see, could you actually make a business out of making everything from scratch, using double zero grade flour, water, salt and fresh yeast. And that's essentially, when I kind of lifted the lid on maybe what goes into pizza dough in particular, I was quite surprised that there was maybe a lot of additives and stuff like that, and I wanted to, I suppose, do a healthier take on what was currently on the market at the time. And really that's what we're about. We're about when people think of pizza delivery, you have obviously your large brands, which are great, but we're, I suppose, an alternative to that in that home delivery space. And obviously we're unique as well in terms of cooking with fire, which has its challenges. But it's I suppose we wanted to have a couple of different USPs, and I think that has worked over the years, where people come in and they see, okay, there's something different here. It's just something different than your, let's say, traditional type of pizzeria or pizza delivery business.
You say USB, that's the little thing you plug into a laptop, isn't it?
No, I'm not very technical, Paul, but I suppose,
But you're saying you have various different USBs, or did I hear that wrong?
Yeah, no, I suppose we do, in terms of, we obviously make our dough fresh each day. We use traditional, Italian cooking techniques. We have a 48-hour proof. We're obsessed about our dough and how that lands. So it's essentially artisan baking.
Well, that's the thing. It's a great swing now, and Greystones is certainly one of those towns that loves you know, it's real food. So you've got, you know, wonderful bakeries like Scale and now Bread 41 are coming around, and there is that swing, I think, in Ireland and the rest of the world to kind of caring about how the food is prepared and what goes into it. And
yeah, that's true. Like, I think people are obviously a lot more health conscious, you know, over the last 15, 20 years, particularly in the last, I think, 5 to 10 years. It's been really, you know, people consider what they, you know, when they're buying something, where does it come from? Is it, you know, how it's prepared? So, you know, I think that's, you know, that's a huge consideration for everybody. At Greystones, like I'm a big fan of Greystones. I told you before, I come out to like a little getaway for me, in terms of, I go out and swim in the cove, and you know, just I use the sauna there, and I go to the Rise of the Cove. I love going in there, having a coffee. I have family living here, so it was when this location came up, I was very excited. Maybe not. It's not as much of a getaway now that I have a business in the town, but that's we're delighted to be here, and there's some great businesses. You know, the Fat Fox, I'm a big fan of as well. Like, there's lots of really good food businesses around here, and you know, people are, I think, in Greystones, they are very health conscious, and you know, everyone's out walking or swimming or doing something, you know, so it's
and I was just thinking that, because it happens again and again as I talk to people around here. What's lovely is a lot of businesses like yourself, you're very keen on what you buy in, you know, would be local produce. It's not a case of, because it'd be very quick and easy to get, like, you know, a big truck to pull up with and drop a ton of stuff off to you, but you're always sourcing what's available around here.
We are, like, as much as we can, like, you know, not to be too cliched about it, like, we obviously try and source locally, like, in terms of Irish suppliers, you know. So, you know, Gubeen, we've been using their chorizo for the last 10 years. They're a fantastic supplier down in West Cork, really supportive business to us. They make, I think, one of the best chorizos that's out there. You know, Pigs in the Green supplies with, you know, our mince for our meatballs, our fennel sausage. So, you know, there's some really good suppliers. Keelings as well supplies with our, you know, our fruit and veg, or fresh pineapple. So, you know, it's and then we, you know, we obviously, we've always done this. We import a lot of our, let's say, core ingredients, our flour, our fleur de latte, mozzarella, you know, tomatoes directly from Italy. That's always been, I suppose, when I first started out, I found it very hard to actually get really good products like that. Things have changed dramatically, and you can really source. There's some really good suppliers. One of our main suppliers, Italicatessen, and again, they help us a lot in bringing the ingredients in so that we can make great pizza, you know.
Yeah. Now, I was just thinking that the fact that you've got, you know, a town that basically is very much a foodie town. I don't know whether when you come in here, you sort of, I'm guessing you were already aware of that this is somewhere that has embraced coffee, has embraced pizza, has embraced, but also I guess the Happy Pear would have triggered this. It's become one of the sort of most well-known foodie towns really in the country.
I think it has, like, you know, and I think, you know, you took the words out of my mouth there. The Happy Pear have been kind of outliers there, where they've done, you know, they've really kind of put the Greystones on the map with their, you know, their fresh food. They're, you know, they're very health conscious. So you know, they definitely have caught my eye over the years. I'm a customer there, so you know, it definitely is a very much a foodie destination now, you know, and I think people are, you know, you know, the people that I feel that live in this community want to have quality on their doorstep, so that they can, you know, they can get that really nice coffee or pizza, or, you know, whatever dish they're looking for. It's here, you know.
What's funny too is that I think mentally people assume with anything that's sort of handmade and is, you know, sort of the careful ingredients and all that, they always basically think, well, that must be double the price that I'd normally pay. But we won't name the brand, but you are cheaper than one of the largest kind of chains of pizzas in the country, so that's important to you too. It's not. It is
important. Like, I think that's probably a little bit of an obstacle that we faced, right? We put a lot of, I suppose, resources into our store and our fit outs. You know, we always want to create a really nice environment for our customers and for our employees to work in. And I think people come in and they feel they automatically feel that we're a lot more expensive.
Right. I'm going to pay for all this that I'm looking at now.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, in fact, actually, part of our, you know, when we were originally coming up with the concept, we always wanted to be to offer value. And when you compare, I suppose, our prices like for like, we're actually fairly competitive, if not lot cheaper than a lot of those maybe main brands that we won't mention. But and when you say it to people, they're actually quite shocked. You know, they feel they're like, geez, like that's I've
that doesn't
actually,
make sense to me.
Yeah, when we were doing the opening here, I had a few conversations. I went down the rabbit hole there of pricing, and it was I had some interesting chats here with some of the locals. But you know, they were, in fairness, they took it on very well. We're like, oh, that's great. We didn't know that. We just assumed you're a lot more expensive. You know, so.
Now, being the nice chap that you are, you also offer the possibility people can customise whatever they want on their pizzas. Do you allow pineapple?
We do. Like, that was a big debate.
Holy moly!
I know. There's I have a funny story around that. Like, I debated around that at the back in before we opened in 2008, and if you're a pizza purist, pineapple is just not something you would put on pizza. I wouldn't eat pineapple on pizza personally, but I felt in the end of the day, I wanted to give customers what they want, and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in the right way. And I remember when we first opened in Terranure, we had a customer come in and said, "Do you do pineapple?" "Oh, I'm sure it's just out of a tin." And I brought him back, and I brought him into the cold room in the back, our walk-in fridge, and showed him the actual pineapple, or fresh pineapples. And I think he's still a customer. So it, I think I just felt that, I didn't want to be, as a brand, if people want to, put something on their pizza, customers come up with all sorts of combinations.
Sure.
That mightn't be to my taste, but you have to give customers.
Well, that's the beauty of it, that you just don't know what
Exactly. Like, let people have what they want. So, but if you're doing it, do it in the right way, and do it as fresh as possible. So.
Nicely done. Well, I know we'll be talking to you again. You're going to be kind of coming up with new ideas about new pizzas and I know vegan and things like that. You know that there's a lot of people, gluten and all that people are intolerant to, that you can put a lot of different variations out there, and that's something that you're going to be looking into.
Definitely, and we're very excited. Like, we've a new menu launching in May. We're actually using this store as a trial. We're launching some new side options. There's a lot of really nice things on it, because we're very predominantly pizza, and we feel that this store is the perfect store to launch some new products. We're also bringing in milkshakes, which I'm a fan of myself. We were just doing a tasting last week. So I think that I think people will be surprised and hopefully delighted to kind of taste those new things. So we'll be doing a lot of kind of promotions around that. On the gluten-free, we've always stayed away from. I've looked at it. I'd love to do it, but just because of the environment that we're in, essentially it's a bakery, and we don't want to obviously make
contamination thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But vegan is something that you're going.
Well, no, we do vegan. We have a selection of vegan pizzas. We created them. One of the girls in our marketing team is a dedicated vegan, and I don't know a lot about let's say somebody that was vegan, what they'd like to see in a pizza. So I asked her a couple of years ago to create some options, and they're really popular actually. So
just to be sure now, in May when you have milkshakes and pizzas available, will there be any kind of hammocks or resting areas people can have just to have a nap afterwards? Because I find when I eat good food like that, I need about half an hour lying down somewhere just to get my base.
We might get a little bed for them down in the cove.
Nice.
There's a nice green area.
A few hammocks, a few trees over there.
We were going to talk to the council over here about maybe sponsoring some, some tables and benches, and actually making that place nice, so when people come over here during the summer, that they can take their pizza and go across the road. That's another thing. We're very, we're a very community orientated business. We do a lot of sponsorships in our other 9 locations, and that's something we're very keen on to do in Greystones, and get involved with the local community, whether it's rugby club, soccer, basketball. We're very happy to try and help and see where we can just make things a little bit easier for these clubs.
I'm going to take a wild guess. I think a few of them will be in touch with you after this.
Hopefully. I'll let my operations director deal with that. He didn't want to come on camera, but
we'll get him.
We'll get him someday. Yeah.